You are listening to a podcast of the Geek.io Media Network. For all of our shows and more, visit geek-io.net. And to help support the network, head over to patreon.com/geekio.
Now for a lesson.
Konbanwa, Anime Otaku Show e yokoso. Good evening. Welcome to the Anime Otaku Show.
You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean.
Remember, we will be discussing all episodes up to the ones we talk about tonight. Anata go supporter o kinishi nanara soyo. If you don't mind spoilers, welcome.
Go beyond! Plus!
Yes, it is that time again. Konbanwa minasan, it is the Anime Otaku Show, episode number 17. I am still your temporary host, Josh Kansai Style McGrath, and joining me into the magical worlds of anime are Carrie, I stole them myself, Wilcox, Justin, he's next, Carol, and once more, keeping us alive and online, Raul, of course aliens, Garza. But it's not aliens.
Exactly.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Always. Yeah, I'm doing pretty fabulous right now.
Oh.
We had a week of anime, people.
Yeah, we did.
Oh my god, I binged the last 4 episodes of Magical Girl.
Yeah, we kind of already watched today's episode because it's like, fuck it, we got time. I want to see where this goes.
Right.
And it's the final episode, right?
I think anyways.
Wait, I thought Ore came out on Tuesdays.
Nope, Mondays.
Okay, I'll probably watch it right after the show.
But yeah, so what are we talking about this week, Justin?
Tonight's shows are, of course, Magical Girl Ore, episodes 8 through 11, Meet and Greet, Another and Another, Stalking, and Final Battle. Food Wars, episodes 22 and 23 of Season 3, to the Final Battleground, and Bearing Polar Star Dormitory. My Hero Academia, Season 3, episodes 10 and 11, Symbol of Peace, and One for All, and Darling in the FRANXX, episodes 20 and 21, A New World, and For You, My Love.
Oh man, that's going to be a lot to talk about. But before we go ahead and dig into the first show, our audio listeners are going to get themselves a little bit of an ad. We do apologize, but we like having internet to put on the show for you guys. So yeah, stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. Wasn't that a majestic ad? Whatever it was for, you should buy that product and or service.
Blue
Geek-io.net/support.
Exactly.
It's Crunchyroll. Please support. Please support.
Please support our official release. So yeah, why don't we get our chow on and dig right into Food Wars?
So this is slightly on topic. I made some really delicious chicken Alfredo pasta tonight.
Nice.
That was pretty freaking fantastic. If there's one simple thing about Food Wars that is never... Well, there's one simple thing about cooking that never really gets said during Food Wars episodes is that y'all should use cast iron pans. They are the best.
Yeah, they are.
You can cook anything in cast iron. It is the best. This has been your Justin Carroll cooking announcement.
Cast iron is indeed amazing.
Oh, such an even heat with it.
Yeah,
It's the
and
best.
we have a couple that are over 100 years old that came from my grandfather's childhood farmhouse.
Jeez. So that you have, those are the ones that you guys use at your house?
Yeah. Those are the ones
That's insane.
that Josh cooked filet mignon for me on.
Oh, wow.
I mean, cast iron, if it's taken care of, it'll last forever.
But yeah, so we've got Food Wars these past 2 weeks. To the Final Battleground and Bearing Polar Star Dormitory. Thank you so much, Food Wars writers, for that delicious pun.
Yeah, very nice.
Fraggle approves.
So I really like these people in the Elite 10. They're all really actually super unique, and I'm kind of glad that they didn't really fully reveal these people until the Regiment de Cuisine. So
Except for you, Azon. Fuck you.
right, exactly. Izan is a bag of dicks, so
What are you even still doing there?
I do love
Yeah.
how he was like, Ishiki likes to be the David to our Goliath. And it's like, Azan, you lost to Soma twice. You cannot call yourself a Goliath anymore.
Nope. Too much of a little bitch.
So
So-
yeah, I mean, I don't really like the replacement Elite 10 people. But like Kinokuni, I loved getting backstory on her.
Right. Kinokuni is great. And she continues to be great for these 2 entire episodes. Also, it made me a very shameful kind of nerd confession. I've never had proper soba noodles. Like, I've never gone to a place that had soba noodles or bought them or even made them at home. And I kind of feel sad about it.
You're not the only one. I am very uncultured down
Oh,
here.
Well,
Okay.
you do live in Texas, so that is understandable.
Well,
Texas has one culture. Texas.
Raul, you just need to go to Austin, and then you can figure out that your state can be really weird, and then you could find some really insane, off the wall Austin food. I'm not kidding. Austin is an amazing city.
It is. I know I've been there a few times, but I've never gone to like the different part of town, the different foods, the fusion foods, all that stuff.
I went there to visit my brother once, and I had Austin pizza, and you think, oh, that just sounds like regular ass pizza. No, it's not. It is very interestingly kind of a New York style and a deep dish pizza kind of thing that they got going there. They also got this. They also have this special Dr. Pepper called Dublin Dr. Pepper, which is like insanely good. But that's beside the point.
Oh, since you've been to Austin, you know what Big Red is, right?
Of course. Oh yeah.
They don't have Big Red in Florida, do they?
No.
So
Oh, let's
Shokugeki.
get back to the Shokugeki.
Yes,
sorry,
yes.
I got into a tangent because of soba and then weird food.
So soba's pretty good. Definitely not my favorite noodle type. It has a very distinct flavor
Right.
and texture, which they get into a little bit in these couple of episodes. I'm more of an udon fan myself because I like how it soaks up everything you put it in.
Exactly.
I love how they're writing this where like Soma is always getting the other person's
Yes.
specialty.
Yes. And I like
he-
how like, and she even lampshades it too because she has this whole spiel of, I want you to draw the ingredient because I want
I
this
will
to
beat
be a
you at whatever you draw. It doesn't have to be soba. It's soba. God damn it.
It's soba. Damn it.
She actually gets mad that he draws soba.
And then we get a little flashback of Soma's father telling him, well, how have you been getting through all these matches? Oh, I've just been thinking on my feet. Nope. But didn't you lose to that one dude in the autumn elections? We're going to have to change it.
Yep.
So it's not just coming out of nowhere. It's not like Soma ex machina.
Right.
They actually show that he actually trained. Though I think that, well, the next episode is going to be the last one of this season, right?
Yes. Episode 24 is the last one, and it comes
Okay.
out in a couple of days.
So they're going to leave us off on a cliffhanger like they did the autumn elections, aren't they?
Right. I'm so.
Hopefully
Carrie
we'll at
knows
least
this.
finish this first round, right?
Yeah. They will finish the first round, I'm sure.
Maybe I don't know about the
Um,
first card though because they haven't even touched that.
Yeah, they only did the first one, which, oh my god, the obsession. The, what is it, 7th seat? Has with former 7th seat?
with,
I can't remember their names.
with racist stereotype Chef Boyardee versus Ishiki.
Yes, Ishiki. Oh my god. And Ishiki's not even showing like his true skill.
Oh, it comes out.
He's got it. You can't
Well, yeah,
see this.
he's able to. He fillets an eel and it doesn't bleed until like a second after it's cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
That
was such a
legit-
beautiful transition. It's like, because we're all used to Ishiki Senpai, you know, wearing nothing but an apron. What? Alice is immediately interested.
Like, so I don't know if anybody else here has read Rurouni Kenshin. I know that CJ adores that show. There was a scene in Rurouni Kenshin where they go to like this knife sharpening person. It's like, hey, we need to fix up the sword, and this most ridiculous thing happens where they're like, you know that a person is really good at sharpening swords when you can take a knife and cut through a turnip and it doesn't split apart because the edge is so sharp the molecular regeneration happens. And I'm like, okay, so this is just what happened in Shokugeki no Soma. He cut it so fast that it took a little bit to bleed. Okay, all right, thanks, anime.
He's just that good.
And
And the beautiful thing is, though, is that he's his usual carefree self. You know, he's Cloud
he's like,
Cuckoo
yeah,
Lander.
I've yeah, and he says like, oh, I've got a backup plan for this. Maybe we'll start a farm.
Yeah, until racist stereotype Chef Boyardee starts shitting on Polar Star, and oh, you're from this
You're
upper
so much
echelon.
better than them.
Yeah, you're from the upper echelons of
Yeah.
cuisine. You're an embarrassment to your it's an embarrassment to your family for you to be with these, shitty people. And then it's like,
Yeah, and he's like,
switch.
yeah, I'm probably an embarrassment to my family, but don't you dare talk shit about Polar
Yeah,
Star,
I mean,
right?
he basically like, can you shut the fuck up now?
No, that was the thing. Was he was still Ishiki about it. Let's have some quiet, shall we?
Whoa, excuse me.
And the temperature in the room drops like 80 degrees.
Real quick.
Also, we get to see his eyes.
That's his face. He a
And
real
then,
mad boy.
oh, and then on the other side of the counter, we have Soma making
Instant yakisoba.
instant soba. Yes.
Literally, cup soba is what they're saying. And the great thing, because you flash back and forth between Kino Kuni, being basically a wizard and casting, a magical spell on her soba flour and turning it into these perfectly made artisan noodles. Pan over to Soma with his little cranky machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
making the
it's
little
like,
chibi
oh yeah.
face.
Yeah, that's not very dramatic what he's
No,
doing.
it's not. But Arena brings up the point of, because of the quality of the equipment he's using, machine-made soba is actually better than poorly made soba. Like, just because
Right.
it's handmade doesn't make it better.
I mean, you get the precision there that doesn't take 10 years of
Exactly. He
practice.
gets consistency. And yes, Kuni's soba is probably going to be better, like, just in terms of the objective quality of the noodles than Soma's. But he's doing a better job with the machines than he would have by hand because he's not trained in it. And also, that's not the only thing that matters in this fight.
Nope. And like we're talking about the next episode, but then he starts stir frying them. Which
Literal
I don't know
yakisoba.
anything about. I don't know about the Japanese noodles. I know there's pasta, and spaghetti, and lasagna. That's pretty much my noodle. Oh, and macaroni and cheese. That's my repertoire of the noodles that
Yeah,
I know.
so yakisoba is basically a fried noodle dish. That's why he brought the walkout. That is that style. But it's considered a low class kind of thing. It's not an elegant meal because it's a quick, cheap. I mean, let's be fair. You go into your local grocery store and you're going to find Maruchan instant yakisoba. It comes in
Right.
a little plastic tray. It's a brick of noodles. It has a pouch of freeze-dried vegetables and meat and a pouch of flavoring. You add water, you microwave it, you mix it all together, and it's salty and delicious for 99 cents. Is it
Exactly.
gourmet? Fuck no. But this is Soma we're talking about. He's got tricks up his sleeve. They're going to come out.
Yeah, and I like his thought process where, like, I want to make something that's just not catered to one person. He wants it catered to everyone that walks into the diner.
He's a diner cook. He knows that he needs something that's going to play to his strengths, and his strength is diner cooking.
Yeah, Soma is the everyman, and that's why you're starting to see things like at the end of the autumn elections where it comes out that the only reason he's such a good cook is because of his hard work. And people start like relating with him more, that he's not just some super genius.
No, he just busted his ass off.
Yeah, being the everyman is Soma's strength.
Yeah, and he lost what's his losing streak right now? 900 and 400 something?
What, against the dead? 400 and yeah.
And 0 victories.
Yeah, like I said last time. I want that one victory.
The end of the series, yeah.
The 500. Yeah, that 500th.
Yeah, 499 to 1.
Yeah. And that's where he's like officially recognized, like, you have graduated, my son.
Thou hast done well. My good and faithful boy.
And then we get Ishtar's the dish he makes is Polar Star Dormitory.
Yep.
Yes,
originals.
where he steals all of their ingredients.
And he's proud. Yeah, I stole them myself.
But that was the thing, is, I mean, he's there to begin with as part of a Team Shokugeki to save his friends from expulsion. And he's going to do that the most Ishiki way he knows how, by fighting with what makes them so special in the first place.
The thing in the bottle, was that like a type of sake or was it cider?
Rice juice.
Ah.
It was
probably
the rice equivalent of moonshine.
Yeah, because she's the fermentation specialist.
Ah, okay. And he's like, oh, maybe we set up an eel farm too. It's like, oh, if we set them in a greenhouse, we can.
They'll never hibernate.
They won't hibernate. Man, being inside of that head for like 5 seconds, and it's just be like things running around 100 miles an hour. And then we get his backstory that he's childhood friends with
Kinokuni.
With Kinokuni. And it's just like, and he was the child prodigy. While she had to work her entire life, everything just came easy to him.
Yeah, and also he is originally a specialist in Japanese cuisine. He is the heir to one of the two in this series most important Japanese cuisine families, and he apparently doesn't give a shit about either one of those things.
Nope.
Yeah. I wonder, like, where's his shift? Like, what shifted him to that? If it's just
you're probably gonna find out next episode.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So one of the things that I really like about Ni no Kuni, other than the game, so I recently watched a 45-minute documentary about hand making soba noodles.
That's topical.
Right. Like, I watched this guy do it, and that thing that she does, the magic spell over that thing, like, I watched this guy do that. I watched him go, and he did it, like, without words for 10 minutes on screen. And you watched a bowl of completely dry ingredients with maybe a half of cup of water in it turn into a workable, completely smooth dough ball. And then this girl worked her ass off to get good at this. She literally got good. And I mean, well, we see
and they
what
show
happened.
that it's a physical. Yeah, you have to have strength to
Like,
And they had the itchy moments.
of
yes.
course, that's just.
Though a little bit turned down than normal, right?
I mean, sure. I mean, it's still the same foodgasm moments, but
Well, yeah.
the characters involved are a little bit more subdued.
I think the one that stood out, like the one that stood out most was the guys nestled in the crevasse.
Yeah.
It's like, hello?
Hello?
Like, it was surprising because it's an episode featuring eels.
Oh,
Oh.
Japan.
And you would think the eels would have stolen the show there, but no.
No,
I mean,
no.
you kind of get that a little bit with Ishiki's dish.
A little bit, but not as much as you would expect. I mean, we're used to things like the peanut butter and the honey tentacles.
Oh my god. Okay, and that's pretty much it. These 2 episodes, they could have just run them into a 1-hour block because they were pretty much just boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's
Because
the
they
really
are trying
weird
to
thing that's
finish
going on starting this couple of episodes. The randomly brainwashed announcer chick.
Oh, the idol,
Aurora
yes.
is like such a weird character.
Yes, and I know, like, CJ's gonna yell, "Drink at me" for this. The manga actually has her labeled as Aurora parentheses brainwashed version.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm pretty sure if they don't do an OVA for the next season, it's going. If they do it, it's going to be the training montage that they did because there's a jump there,
Yeah.
right?
There's a reason for that.
Right before. It's either going to be shown in flashbacks during the battle, or they're going to have that little mini OVA like they did with right before, what was it, the third season, where he was challenging everyone that would come to him.
Something like that.
Right, this is season 3, right? Yes. Okay, yeah. And I know you guys know, but CJ's gonna kill us. Like,
And that's why I've
we-
just kept shut it up.
I
Okay.
am surprised that we're going halfway into the regimental shokugeki, or like wading into the first like steps of it, right? Because I thought that, and I mentioned this in the pre-show, but what we got as episode 22, I thought was going to be next season's season premiere.
Yeah.
okay.
Like that's what I
So-
thought, but obviously that didn't happen.
Right.
Well, what they're probably going to do from a rating standpoint is this season is going to end right before Yukihiro's dish is judged.
I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll finish the end of this card and then they'll show who's coming up next.
They have 20 minutes.
They got 23
Well, I mean,
minutes.
really, they only need to one more win and they win the card, right?
Well, the regiment with the regimental shokugeki, you literally keep fighting until everybody on one side is knocked out.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's not like, oh, 2 rebels and 1 central one, so that means rebels win this round. No, it's you just keep fighting each other until there's nobody left on one side. They're just doing 3 at a time for expediency's sake.
Oh, okay.
And theatrics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if I'm being just a complete snob about this or whatever, but why didn't they call it the Regimen de Cuisine?
I don't know.
Like that's what it's called. They couldn't. You can't just. They don't even say the word shokugeki in the text. I don't know. Whatever.
Oh.
I'm salty about stupid things.
So
Continue.
I've got one more thing to say. The special seating for the rebels.
Yeah,
Okay.
you guys were remarking
Uh.
on the opening and how it looked like they were behind bars for some reason.
Oh yeah, that's how that goes.
basically, like, yeah, like that entire opening is basically a summary of the entire arc.
Right.
Oh, I just realized that right now it's you. You guys are like the book readers for Game of Thrones. Just sitting back and sitting back and just like, why are you recording this? They're just having a wedding. Right? It's like, what?
I mean, everybody already knows that the obvious best ship is Soma Arena.
I still personally, I like Soma Megami, but Soma Arena is growing on me, and I can tell that that's where the writer wants it to go.
Because it's going to.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Unless.
Unless Arena and Hisako are gonna get married.
Oh, of course. Or, I mean, they just go for the full, like, fan crack shipping all the way across the board. I'm saying that there might be a third girl. Well,
what about the little harem that?
I mean, he already technically has a harem of
Ishii
like
has.
6 different girls at this point, but I think maybe they'll just pull like a freaking nisekoi where they pop in another girl of promise somewhere.
Girl of
So yeah,
promise.
we're excited for this weekend.
Wait, what?
We're excited for this weekend with Food Wars.
Exactly. It'll be nice to see the conclusion of this arc. Well, the beginning of this arc, but the conclusion of the season.
Yeah, I am.
Yes.
I like these judges. These judges are weird,
And are hilarious.
they're hilarious, and I love like it. They're kind of a breath of fresh air too. After the cheating assholes that we had during the rest of the season with the exam stages. And Josh and I were talking about this earlier. I don't know whether Azami was actually trying to cheat and kick the rebels out by whatever means necessary, and is going a different route because the Regiment de Cuisine is so public, or if he just wanted the rebels gone and the earlier proctors interpreted it as orders to cheat, and so they were just trying to kiss ass and get them out. And Azami wanted his victory to be legit all along. But the World Gourmet Organization bookmen that they got, first of all, weird parallels to the Catholic Church going on with one of the people dressed as a nun, and they have a culinary Bible with them. But also, these people are super legit, and yes, they are a little bit elitist with, oh, that's okay, honey. It's okay that you don't have any stars. You're so pretty.
So, yeah, like, to continue that point, I don't know if you were going to make this this comparison, but I read a bunch of, I usually read discussion posts about the show, and this is the Michelin organization.
Yeah. I mean, basically my point was like, these people are super fucking legit and they judge what's on the plate.
Right.
So they're not like, unlike any other judge that Azami could have gotten, these people are actually going to be fair and legit.
Right.
Yeah. I like how everyone knows who they are except Soma.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't Shinomiya mention the Michelin organization though? Like,
I can't remember.
or was he actually?
I don't think so. He just mentioned going for a 3rd star.
Yeah.
Oh, so he actually was going to go for a Michelin star. I can confirm that via the wiki, but
Hey, wiki,
I
welcome.
think they may have been, trying to not actually involve a real life organization into the narrative of their manga.
Yeah, so they
their
just
anime.
they got retconned into the WGO.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably the thing that happened. It's the World Gourmet
Yeah.
organization, right?
Yeah.
So what do you guys want to go from here? Because I know we're playing low loose here.
We got some heavy-handed feels coming regardless of which path we take. So,
Right. Also, one last thing. There is a World Gourmet Society and a World Gourmet Summit, but not a World Gourmet Organization.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Sorry for my
The
big clacking mechanical keyboard noises.
Let's go down the hero route, Josh.
Yes, let's go down this route.
My Hero Academia. Episodes 10 and 11. Symbol of Peace and One for All.
Oh.
Those of you like CJ who have been sick of Carrie, Justin, and I saying all season the manga.
This is
This is
reason.
the payoff.
Yeah. This is why.
This is why we have been so hyped for this entire season. Because of this set of moments right here. We have season 10. We have Symbol of Peace. We see just why All for One is such a terrifying villain.
And then the what is it not D minor, but the minor key classical music that plays just makes him all that more like, it feels like he's sophisticated, but he's evil as shit.
We mentioned this last episode. He is the big bad. He is the Ganondorf. He is, I mean, outside of the fact that it's all stage play, he's Bowser.
Right.
He is the evil incarnate in this world. This man who has a quirk of quirks, his complete and total control of being able to take, give, mix, strengthen, combine. It's absolutely terrifying to the point that the students are sitting there, standing there, one, trying to get themselves to move, and two, not throw up. Because his
because at the end of the previous
menacing
episode,
aura is that overwhelming.
And keep in mind, these are kids that have already responded to legitimate villain threats with, if not the skill, at the very least, the dedication and the passion that pro heroes have.
yeah,
And the courage that
and
pro
Midoriya
heroes
is
have.
the only one that's faced someone that was going to kill him, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's done that twice
And,
now with Stain and also then with Muscular.
True. Yes. Oh my god! And then it's just you've got this epic battle between All for One and All
One
Might.
for All.
And you
and One for All.
And you just see public looking at what's going on, and you see the people who idolize All Might with everything that they've got to see their symbol of peace stopped. And that, I bet, is making them feel some kind of way, because obviously his previous fight with All for One was not televised or public.
Yeah, nobody even knows that it happened.
Nobody knows what happened there. Everybody thinks that he got injured once, but everybody thinks it's from a different villain.
Nobody even knows who All for One is.
So, yeah,
he's been a
And
shadow.
All for One kind of Oh well, no, that's the next episode.
He's been a shadow puppet master this entire time. And nobody even, who is this guy that's giving All Might such a hard time? It's All Might.
Yeah,
It's pretty much he's fighting like 50 other quarks.
Yeah, I mean,
at the very least.
And I mean, he even mentioned when he was telling Midoriya the story of All for One and One for All, he mentioned that knowledge of All for One and One for All were suppressed for a reason.
Right.
Because they didn't want All for One to become a symbol to the villains like All Might is now to the heroes.
To everyone.
Yeah.
And let's talk about our boys for a moment, though. The rescue operation.
Oh man.
The supreme bromance that is Bakugo and Kirishima.
Yes, because Kimishima refuses to be talked down.
No, he is going to be best friends with Bakugo, and Bakugo is going to fucking love it.
Red Riot.
And
Red
I
Riot
mean,
is best boy.
who else could survive his explosions, right?
I mean, Deku
I
has,
mean-
but that's
I mean, we're just going for full on, you know.
Kirishima
let's
punches
get-
you
let's
in
get
the
into
face with friendship, and you like it.
Exactly.
And talk about this plan that Midoriya is thinking up while they're stiffed with fear.
well.
I mean,
Again,
he is
we've mentioned
paralyzed.
this in previous episodes as well when talking about Midoriya. Midoriya, hey CJ, Midoriya Shonen. Not getting through another week of that bullshit, buddy. His real superpower is his mind. Yeah, he's got access to One for All now, but what makes him a hero is not the power, it's who he is. The entire reason he was given One for All to begin with was because All Might saw in him the true qualities of a hero. Acting before he could really think about it, but then also thinking about it.
yes.
He's always thinking, he's always plotting, he's always learning. When something happens, he takes it in, he internalizes it, he formulates.
Yes, and in the matter of a few seconds, while being suppressed with an evil aura so strong that they all want to throw up, he formulates a plan that A, keeps everybody out of combat range, B, gets them in and out incredibly quickly, C, actually gets Bakugo to go along with it with no warning or advance notice whatsoever, and D,
Yes, because
without
he
feeling
knew that-
bad.
Yes, because he knew Bakugo would resent him even more, or wouldn't even go along with him
Right.
if he was the one extending
But
his
man, if
hand.
it's his bro Kirishima, boom.
He'd go for it.
And let's be fair, I love how quickly that got memed. That
Yes.
Oh.
shot of him
Immediately.
power gliding through the city along the walls to get that hand clasp in.
And then
It
we
was
get
a really good set of animation. It looked fantastic.
Just the fact that it
And
goes
then-
from, them rocketing overhead and the villains being like, "Huh?" and then there's Bakugo, blast off.
yeah.
The animation in this is so
Um,
beautiful.
Oh my god. And then Miss
Mount
Mountain?
Lady.
Mount Lady.
Mount Lady. Mount Lady just comes out of nowhere and blocks the villains from getting to them. Save the civilians first.
And
Boom.
that was a really
Priorities.
nice little moment because Mount Lady has always been presented kind of cheesecakey because she's a gigantic woman, her assets are gigantic. They very easily could have gone with the very cheap shonen joke of the bad guy smacking into her chest.
Right.
But no, she takes it in the face, resulting in a bloody nose.
And there was, like they did because there was actual gravity of the situation, and I'm really glad that they didn't
Cheapen it.
just.
And then
Cheap.
they all realize that All Might can't fight at his full power.
With so many people nearby.
Yes. And boy, do we get it in the next episode.
And yeah, that's the great thing is the entire episode is this masterful staging, the building of the tension. You can see the springs winding. And they clear the stage. They get everybody they can out of the way. Bakugo's safe. They clear out as many of the wounded as they can. The rest of the villains are warped out.
Do we get the big the twist at the end of this episode or the end of the next
It's
episode?
in the middle of the second episode
Yeah.
is when that gets thrown out.
Yeah.
And we go into the second episode, this climactic battle between good and evil, between the symbol of peace and the symbol of evil in One for All. And it is a hell of a fight, and it is so beautifully animated.
And we
I
get
think hands down, my favorite effect is the gold sparking that
Oh,
we
yeah.
get on All Might in this episode. But this is where everything starts to come to a head, because All Might stopped in his tracks. All for One is that powerful, and All Might starts to lose muscle form. And for the first time, the general public sees some of what All Might actually looks like. And you can see the way it starts to break their faith in him. And that is exactly what All for One wants. He wants to take that pillar and send it crashing to the ground. And just completely destabilize the hero society. And he starts to succeed.
And then we get the backstory of how All Might got One for All
which,
from his master.
by the way, the previous One for All is a badass lady.
Who is also, the other Big Bad's grandmother.
Supposedly. We haven't gotten confirmation of that yet.
It's confirmed. I'm sure. Last name and everything. Something bad happened there.
Maybe.
I don't think he's lying. I think that was a good twist.
If
Something
it is,
like that, like that revelation, like
it's
that.
definitely a good twist. If it is correct, I'm still holding out hope that he was literally just trying to get a rise out of All Might because it works.
Yes. And then he gets a is it in the flashback? No. Jet actually gets him to like calm down and think about it. You have to be. He knows how you
have
fight.
to act like Midoriya.
Yes, act spontaneous, but think about your move.
Yeah, and we get this absolutely spectacular brawl between All for One and One for All, and it completely ravages All Might. Like, he gets down to full-blown emaciated mode, and the public is shaken, but not so much that they lose their hope. All Might has been such a pillar to them for so long that they are still cheering his name, still praying for his victory. They are still behind him, and on a level he feels that. And this entire time, while you've got All for One sitting there cocktailing a killer quirk specifically to absolutely obliterate All Might, while revealing the fact that the last time they fought, All Might was still coming at him with his guts hanging out. And this is where we start to see, much like how what really makes Midoriya a hero is his intelligence, All Might, what really made him a hero, and still a hero, his absolutely indomitable will. He is not ever going to stop until he does what he feels he needs to do. And we start to see that in the flashbacks of his talks with his master.
Yes. And using the bonfire as a representation
the last embers
One
of One for All that are still within him, and All for One being assured that this is it, that he doesn't have anything left. And then he starts hearkening back to his master's voice. Remember where you came from. And we get it. The absolute amazing moment where he takes every last bit of everything he has left and puts it into one attack. The United States of Smash.
Yes. Oh my god.
And that is what we have been hyping up this entire season. That single, absolutely glorious moment where everyone's hero, once again, pulls through because they need him.
It's the best. It's the reason why moments like this are the reason I watch
Moments
anime.
like this are why we love heroes to begin with. I mean,
Yes.
this is it.
And
They have done such a beautiful job of painting this image of the quintessential hero. He is flawed, he is human, he has emotions that can be played with, but he is still a hero at the end of the day. When there are people who need him, when there are people he needs to protect, he is there. And it's all
Yeah,
right now because he is
yes,
there.
and when he's in his weakened form, he puts all his strength into his right arm, and then he shifts it around,
He,
obliterating his arm,
oh yeah, completely gone.
and then he shifts it to the other one to change it around, and then he goes back to it and just like literally goes beyond.
And I love the effect that the anime has created for that pulling on One for All as strongly as you can. The dots connecting of all the previous predecessors, digging in and getting to that next level. And we get the United States of Smash. And it took until watching this episode for it to really sink in as to exactly why that's the attack's name. Because it's literally everything. It's not a city. It's not a state. It is everything All Might has in one attack. And it is massive. It's
It produces a tornado.
completely knocks All for One out. Completely incapacitates him. Changes the air pressure with one swing so much it creates a massive tornado.
Yeah, that gigantic explosion that you can see from orbit that happens in the opening, that was United States of Smash.
Yeah.
And even then,
Ugh.
even after giving everything he's got in this one attack, he still finds the strength to stand and to raise his fist and to regain muscle form so that everyone knows everything is okay.
Why? Because he
Because
is there.
I'm here.
Oh my god! And I thought this is like when I first saw this anime, I thought like, oh, it's a hero anime. I did not know it was this.
This fucking masterpiece.
Yes.
Yeah, it's real good.
How? I mean,
So I see people shit all over the series all the time because people on the internet have to be mad.
They gotta
About
have something to
everything.
regret about. Otherwise,
They
they're
have
not.
to have- they're never happy. Either way, even if they do have something to shit about, they're never actually happy. So, I don't know why people can't just appreciate things like this that give you good fight scenes, good characters, badass music, amazing voiceover, meaningful messages.
no filler.
One episode of filler. That's it.
And it was still killer, not filler.
Yes.
And we see at the end of this, I know there's only one episode left or 2 episodes left of the season, is that you actually have a character in the series who is not just the strongest hero. He gave himself a title of the symbol of peace, and he was literally the symbol of peace. That's what he did. He brought peace. The crime rate in the city, of course, had gone super high because of Stain, but he still did it. He did his job. He did the job that nobody else could
And
do,
then
and he kicked ass doing it.
and then his final words.
You're next.
Next, it's your turn. Equal parts
Yes.
admonishment to all of the villains out there and encouragement for Midoriya. And the really
And
beautiful thing about that scene is not only does that grip Midoriya, but you can see that Bakugo can kind of see it.
Right.
That look on his face that says, All Might's talking to you. And while Midoriya tried in the first season to explain to Bakugo what was going on, he didn't want to buy into it. But maybe, just maybe, he's starting to see it.
All right. Yeah, I think we need to go to Darling in the FRANXX because we're just going to keep on talking about this series.
It's so good.
Yes.
And it only gets better, folks. Hang on. It's going to be a wild ride.
That's
Literally. Holy
So
crap.
we've got Darling in the FRANXX. Episode 20, A New World. And episode 21, For You, My Love. We have, quite possibly, one of the triggeriest moments in episode 20.
of course it was Alien.
Before we get to that trigger moment, can we just say how adorable it was to have Hero and 02 just on the latch to Sterletzia, just like leaning on each other and just chatting with
Just
each other?
enjoying each other's company.
Yes.
Spending what time they have together the best way they can. And it's beautiful.
Yeah. And just making a promise to each other that we'll always be together. And oh my god.
Yeah, we get the big fight over Grand Crevasse while they're trying to reclaim apparently this super weapon, this star entity that is so very important to Papa and Ape and everybody. And oh shit, suddenly invaders from space. The Klaxosaurs were not the bad guys the whole time.
So this is totally
And then
this is totally not okay. So this is evidence of, I mean, I can't really even say that this is the case because it's mostly production IG doing the stuff, but this is like Gynax ending shit going on right now.
Well,
This is not Trigger ending. This is Gynax ending going on. There's a distinct difference.
I mean, to be fair, Trigger is Gynax Jr.
Right, but there's certainly some very specific things that you can see that differ between the insanity that is Penny and Stalking and Gurren Lagann versus, you know, stuff like Kill la Kill and continuing on from there. There is some stuff here that is harkening back to like Die Buster.
And the great thing is that it's still consistent with what Trigger does, because what is the number one thing that Trigger always does without fail?
kill some
No.
characters.
They defy expectations.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of series from Trigger by now, and we kind of know what to expect from them. That's one of the reasons we love them, is because we can expect very cerebral, we can expect metaphor heavy, we can expect over the top. And they know that we are wise to them. They know that their viewers are very genre savvy, and so you get things like, okay, we're going to put out Kill la Kill and Gurren Lagann, and then we're going to put out Kiznaiver, which is highly cerebral and no fights whatsoever. And then with Darling in the FRANXX, we're going to advertise this as a mecha show, but that's actually a show about sex and relationships. Oh, and by the way, we know you're expecting us to kill somebody, so we're going to keep them alive for the whole season, and then suddenly aliens.
Suddenly aliens.
I posted in chat. I'm not saying they're alien. The aliens did this,
But it's alien.
But they were aliens.
It's
And
aliens.
there's still some other
The dude from
real
Ancient
wild
Alien?
shit going on just in this first episode, because we get visual confirmation, yeah, Kokoro up the duff. Because she's got morning sickness like hell.
Oh yes. They're like, oh
was
my
this the episode we get new
God.
Nana?
Yes.
Yes.
And all the kids
Yes,
are
we
like,
get-
who the fuck are you?
I'm Nana. No, the fuck you're not.
Nana, you ain't.
Not.
Nah, you ain't.
It just reminds me of when I left my teaching job, teaching preschool. I was replaced by a woman named Miss Karen. 2-year-olds are not the best at the English language. So when she introduced herself as Miss Karen, they all thought she was saying, "Hi, I'm Miss Carrie," and they all got really fucking mad at her, saying, "You're not Carrie."
That is both hilarious and adorable.
And that's what this reminds me
So,
of.
guess who hits the field? Who comes out into the field? The Klaxosaur.
Klaxosaur
Princess.
Riding
Yes.
the dragon.
Who is obviously Best Girl version 1.0
Yeah.
because 02 is 2.0.
Yeah, well, she's literally code 001.
I think I'm a clone now.
So-
There always seems to be two of me around.
So, alrighty, I know we're still talking about episode 20, but man, episode 21 is really good.
Episode 21 is real
Man,
fucking good. And the thing is, we could pretty much talk about them in the same token at this point because they
Right, might as well.
into one another. And we start to get the hits after the hits after the hits with this thing. And they are just nailing everything down.
So pretty much what happens in 20, the Klaxosaur princess beats the shit out of 02.
And kidnaps Hero.
And forcibly they connect,
Rape.
or she uses him to pilot.
Not necessarily. I think she went stampede mode because later on in episode 21, when he grabs the tentacles and mind links with her, they talk about, when code 016 connected, it slowed down the explosion.
Well, that's a good point.
So I think she kidnapped him. She did not. I don't think she mind raped him. I think she kidnapped
Boat snack.
Yeah.
and then went stampede mode.
That's a possibility.
Yeah. And then brings up all the weapons that are buried, all these giant cannons.
Giant guns.
And just like,
is what they were.
yes, giant guns, and just shoots them into space. It's like, wait, what? Wait, why isn't she destroying the
aliens?
No. I'm like, oh wait, she's going after the satellite where Popper's on, right? Where Ape is on, right?
And then it shows an invading fleet.
Yeah, and it's like, reconnaissance unit.
Oh wow.
Of
That's some real referential shit right there. God
Right,
damn.
like, so you're looking at the thing that I just posted, right?
So describe to the audio
like-
viewers what you just linked.
Okay, so I posted the URL in our chat because I wanted to say that Strelitzia, what is the name of the new
Strelitzia Apath. Apathy without the Y.
Okay, so I got very serious Star Driver vibes from Strelitzia, and I just looked it up, and I can very much confirm that these ships look very, very similar. And this is from an anime from like back in 2011. Very, very striking red and white
The face
design,
style and everything is.
similar looking face styles and everything. Josh,
I
did you
have
ever
not.
watch the show? Okay, one of these days we should actually end up watching this together because it's really super fabulous.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, it's a good show. But I just thought that wow, they got references from a bunch of different things, and this is one of the striking ones I just wanted to bring up.
But yeah, so
and
we got some serious crazy ass battle going on as a third party enters the fray essentially, and we have these invaders from space, Virm, VIRM.
Virm.
What kind of a name is that? And oh, by the way, Papa was working for them the whole time.
No, Papa was not working for them. Papa was working towards trying to get rid of them.
No, Papa was them.
No, Papa was not one of the people that got sucked up into Virm.
Because I could have sworn.
No, Papa was not sucked up into Virm. He got killed by them. But those were two other people in Ape that were Virm agents.
I'll have to rewatch that because I could have sworn it was Papa.
No, it was not Papa. Papa is the person who is making Ringhorny, that big spear-looking magma ship, to destroy the Virm army that was coming. He knew that they were coming, but he was trying to use Strelitzia Apath to be a weapon against the Klaxosaurs and Virm.
Layers,
For
man.
sure.
Layers.
Yeah. And then in 21, we get backstory about
Yeah, we
the
sure do.
Klaxosaurus sapiens.
60 million years ago, so roughly about the time of dinosaurs, we had the Klaxosapiens. And these Veer assholes showed up and were like, hey, we're bodiless space brains. Come join our collective. To which the Klaxosaurus kindly said, fuck you, get off my planet. And started making super weapons out of themselves.
Yeah, and it says like the weak ones that were not able to fight, or the weak ones turned themselves into energy to be useful.
Fossil fuels. That's right, people. They weren't
man.
dinosaurs, they were Klaxosaurs.
And they showed that they were way advanced.
They were super advanced.
Like,
That was why Virm approached them, because they were an advanced species, and Virm was like, hey, we'll take you guys even higher. By abandoning your physical
And then-
forms and joining the collective. One of us.
One
yes.
of us.
And then when the battle's over, they realize, oh wait, this wasn't the real army. It was just a simple reconnaissance force that they took out, and then they came down and then obliterated, and they all escaped underground, and they just slowly became more and more primal.
And we get some more interesting bombs this episode, like the fact that all of the Nines are clones of 02.
Right.
Somehow.
Genetic
Yeah.
engineering is weird. Doo-doo.
And we find out that Verm, through Ape, actually put in a kill switch.
Inside the Apath. If the Klaxosaur Princess
Yes.
connects, it's going to turn into a bomb and blow the whole fucking planet up.
And there was a monkey wrench thrown into that one. Or can we say a hero thrown into that one?
Yep.
Yeah. Hero, by connecting with the Klaxosaur Princess, actually manages to slow down the self-destruct sequence, which, what the hell, Hero?
And
But yeah,
oh,
02, keeping with her promise, starts trying to get to him. And winds up reuniting with Dr. FRANXX, who's Dr. FRANXX.
Right.
and they actually fix her up because her arm's pretty torn
Yeah.
up at that point.
Yeah, she's lost a lot of blood.
And, yeah, and he actually or someone there, it's either him or
Hachi.
the other dude, fixes her up. Fixes her up to even gives her an IV.
Which I'm pretty sure was
And
an IV of
then-
magma energy, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, a little
Ah.
bit odd.
Weird.
And then they just they walk up to the door and they're like, how are we supposed to get in? And he sacrifices his arm.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he had a mechanical arm loaded with Klaxosaur Princess DNA.
Because he wanted to become one, but it
It
didn't
didn't
work
turn me
out.
into a Klaxosaur like I wanted, but I guess this is useful.
And then we have the giant, would you call it dragon or
Snake
snake?
dragon
And
thing.
the snake.
Yeah.
Four-eyed dragon snake thing that is basically a collective of Klaxosapiens that know fully well what they're doing somehow, because those were some
Yeah.
intelligent ass eyes on the thing. But yeah, we also
Yeah,
get
and then-
the entirety of Squad 13 coming to the rescue and doing themselves a concern in the process.
Yeah.
They've completely snapped because they have no idea. They were so blindly following Papa's orders that without Papa, they don't know what to do. But their last
But
order,
they're still trying
Kill
to figure it out
Klaxosaur.
on their own, unlike the Nines, who were so blindly following Papa that they're just continuing
okay.
to kill the Klaxosaurs despite the aliens.
Yeah,
yes.
so- Because we get Squad 13, and them being an experimental squad pays off because Ichigo kind of talks them through. Well, shit just got turned on its head. Maybe we shouldn't follow our last orders. Let's think this through and come to our own conclusions. And everyone's just like, you know what? You do make sense. As opposed to the Nines that just go ape shit.
And then they all start teaming up and they're trying to get
trying to get 02 to hero. To the point that Ikuno basically drains the entire remaining reserves of her vitality, going almost completely white-haired in the process. She may not survive this
Yes.
series, folks.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, so this group is staying behind to keep them off of them. They're probably dead. Okay, they're making a hole here. She's probably dead. And it's just like, at the end of the episode, they show that they're all still, they're hurting, but they're still alive.
And see, here's the thing. This is where all of these death flags that have been flying for the past 10 or so episodes are, trigger toying with us, basically. Because, first of all, also things that have happened in these past 2 episodes, we get a fucking rapture of all things.
Yep.
Yeah.
As Virm beams up what is probably the entire adult population of this planet. We know that Kokoro is up the duff. We don't know what they were doing to make these kids in the first place, but that's probably not going to function anymore. So we have one viable human being coming into the world and a bunch of kids that are dying through rapid aging. This planet is fucked. But is everything going to be okay? Maybe. Because 02 makes it into Strelitzia. Makes it to a probably basically dead hero.
Yes. And then we get the spirit.
I'm angry.
Why are you?
Yes.
Tell
it's
us
just
why
like,
you're angry, Justin.
Because the ending made me very angry.
You mean the part where they go through this whole sequence of 02 and Hiro spiritually reuniting beneath the Sakura Blossom tree, and the Klaxosaur princess deciding that she's going to donate the last of her vitality to make a gamble on these 2 beautiful human beings? And we get this ridiculously awesome color swap back to the original Apath and fucking red and blue, which was highlighted by the horns crisscrossing, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Blasting the shit out of this invading fleet, and they were like, oh, we're back! And then, oh, look, 02 slumped over in the cockpit and her horns are cracking off.
But she's not slumped over. She's still supporting her own weight in the cockpit.
I don't think she's supporting her own weight. I think she is stiff as a board.
Don't do this to me.
The death flag we never saw coming because it was so hidden in the other death flags.
No, I don't think they're gonna. Oh,
We
my
don't
God.
know is the thing, because when 02 makes that connection with Hiro in the cockpit to get rid of the countdown system, to get Apath back under control, when they start piloting it again, you see a spectral version of her hands close over his on the handles, and the words, "I've never felt you closer to me." And then the expression that he makes is very 02.
So you're saying that we might get to like Better Man levels? I don't know if anybody else here has watched Better Man at all. That was an old series.
I know
back
of
from-
it. I haven't seen
Yeah,
it. Unfortunately.
Sunrise.
Oh,
So there are these mechs that have to be piloted by 2 people, and they have to synchronize their brains to be able to make it work, right?
Much like a Jaeger.
Much like a Jaeger. And in this case, these mechs can't be piloted by less than 1 person, unless you're 02, because she's a Klaxosaur, and she's probably communicating with the Klaxosaur that's inside of Strelitzia.
Because, yeah, spoiler alert, all the FRANXX were Klaxosaurs all along.
Right. So, but maybe there are characters in Better Man that can, there is one character in Better Man that can pilot these robots by himself, because he has the brain matter of 2 different people.
So we will see what happens here, but it's looking crazy regardless, because when this reconnection happened in the cockpit, you briefly see the heads-up display of the Apath, and 02's negative pulse hits 200% at least before it pans away to the rest of the shot.
And then that giant ship spear-looking thing
Putting it
pops
horny,
out.
that gets pulled away. It's basically a giant bundle of life force, according to Verm, and they're going to use it against them.
That's not going to turn against them at all, is it?
Well, I mean, Apath tries to grab hold of it and keep it from being pulled away, but it then, jet thrusters out of its hand. But
yeah.
And then, just as icing on the cake, Dr. FRANXX, I finally get to see it. My Strelitzia Apath. Rock!
Yeah, they needed to make sure that he was dead
He
because
got Caesared.
Yeah, I mean, he
No, it
he
wasn't
even
a steamroller.
says it.
It was a rock.
Well, I mean,
He even says it. He's not a very good person.
okay, so I saw the thing that happened in the series with the thing that I was talking about earlier while everybody was still talking. I saw the situation wrong. It is Papa. Papa is part of Virm. I saw that incorrectly. The person that I thought was Papa is one of the 7 sages named Gorilla. They are both very big. So I was mistaken there. It is Papa, the vice chairman, and Tarsier are 3 of the 7 sages who are now part of Virm.
Flash, we're always part of Virum.
We're always part of Virm, yes.
Yeah, so it's just like, oh my god.
And their plan was to get Strelitzia to take up as part of the Virm forces, along with Hringhorny as part of Virm forces.
They're a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just I saw it incorrectly. So
But hey, you know what? Like a mature adult, you admitted when you were wrong.
Yeah. I think with 02, we're going to have 2 options here. Either A, she merged with Hiro and they are now 2 minds in one body / just united completely. Or B, she is actually alive and was blue screening as she basically becomes human. Because somebody pointed out that there's a version of her in one of the ending themes that does not have horns.
right.
Oh wait, in this one, her inhibitor.
Well, she shatters it herself by basically upping her output to send her horns out into the Verm interface to take control of Apath again. And that's when the Klaxosaur princess goes, hey, yeah, you know what? I might as well take the gamble and try and help you guys. Sends her horn out to connect, and that's where you get the Darling and the FRANXX red-blue X from.
Yes,
is the 2 horns connected.
I was waiting for the logo to pop up.
And
For
we'll see what happens there, because there is a little bit of support to that in episode, because one of the last things Dr. FRANXX gets to say in the series is, when did you become so human?
Right.
So we'll see what happens there. I really hope they don't kill her off, but this is Trigger.
But then again, like how you're saying, they know we're wise to Trigger, and they will.
And it
But
can go.
that's the thing, though. Do they know that we're savvy enough to know that it's them and expect them to not kill her off and then kill her anyways to subvert our expectations of their subverted expectations?
Especially because they've flagged it so heavily. They started with the book and the princess flying away at the end of the book. 02 never actually drawing the final picture of the book and stopping before she tells Hiro about it. And then you have the opening theme where she literally melts into him and fades away.
You know what? The final page is going to be the final screen of the series.
But the question at this point, the question is, who's going to be the one drawing it?
Yeah, and also, is it going to be the same final page, or is it going to be one that 02 redrew?
We write our own story.
Exactly.
Oh. Oh my god, I need this series to be over,
Don't want
but
it to
I
be
don't
over.
want it to end.
Yeah, because
Yes.
Where the fuck are they going to go from this? There's still, what, 3 episodes left? That is a lot of
Yes.
time for things to get even crazier, considering what they did in the past 2.
Yeah, just suddenly aliens.
Yes. Yeah. So the next show we're going to talk about 2, and then the show after that we're going to talk about the finale.
Yeah.
What will probably be a wrap-up episode. If it's another fucking interview episode, I'm going to Japan with ammunition. I will find that Love-Ru bastard, and I will kick him squarely in the junk.
So
Well, it is 11:30, and it is my time to
Shine?
break it off. I mean, get on. I gotta be extra, so.
Godspeed, you Black Emperor.
Danka. Love you guys. Have a
We
good night.
love you. Thanks for coming on.
Night.
All right. And he breaks my.
Hey, you
He
know
said
that
he was leaving. You had a couple of seconds to prepare for it. Oh god, I'm split in twain.
So now, while Raul is fixing the stream,
Yeah, cut here, Raul. Cut. I'm talking to my.
to your editor self.
Yes. Why am I?
Yeah, I was just gonna
I just need
keep
to zoom
talking
chat.
to give you time to get it fixed.
Filibuster, filibuster, filibuster.
So we have a thing to catch up on, you guys.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We have quite a thing to catch up on. Because we've been behind on Magical Girl Ore because we've had a lot of things to talk about in other series.
A lot of darling to talk about.
Yes.
But, yeah. Apparently, as these past 4 episodes have proven, we kinda slept a little on Magical Girl Ore.
Things have started to get interesting.
Oh my God! Talk about interesting.
So we've got...
Okay.
Here we have 4 episodes. 8, 9, 10, and 11. Meet and Greet, Another and Another, Stalking, and Final Battle, which, spoiler alert, isn't the final episode.
Yeah.
We have Meet and Greet, where our magical girl-boy duo finally get their first official idol meet and greet session with the fans. And holy shit, there's a lot of them. Apparently it goes all the way to Disneyland and back.
Yep. And they even have
No, not Disneyland. Magical place that we cannot talk
That's
about.
censored out, even though it's very clearly the Disney castle silhouette.
they also have some crazy fans.
And some absolutely adorable ones, like the little girl who makes a pile
And some
of
very
shit.
and a very underhanded marketing agent.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah. He had a mission, he went in there with a job to do, and he did that job.
Yeah.
Context.
What was it? It was like each one had photos of the magical girls with a 3% chance of getting a ticket.
Something like that. It was a sweepstakes thing, which apparently Japanese people go nuts for. You put limited edition on anything, and it gets snapped up in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. And they apparently somehow the size of the event got out of control, even though they had perfect control of how many tickets they actually put into circulation. But someone else shows up to this meet and greet.
To someone else's, for someone else's, technically. Actually, a lot of someone else's when you stop and think about it. But we've got Prism.
Prisma.
Prism, same difference. The other idol girls, and of course, our darling princes. Mohiro-chan and fucking Hyoi.
Magnificent bastard that he is.
And yeah, it's just massive group meet and greet.
Yep. Everybody's like texting each other in the middle of this group meet and greet. And Mom shows up.
Yeah, wanting to give something. Who is apparently like super freaking strong.
Yeah, I mean, she's been doing this for how long?
True. And like you see all the volunteers trying to like pull her away.
No.
And yeah, Saki kind of blows her off.
Respect your mother,
Yeah.
woman.
I don't think it was intentional, but she did. And
It was kind of like, oh, my mom's here. Wait, no, you're not my mom. No, because she's still trying to keep her covered.
yeah. Whereas Mom doesn't give a fuck, as we find out later.
Yeah.
And yeah, so as soon as Mom gets, I think, a little unreasonably upset at her teenage daughter for misspeaking, goes off to sulk. And surprise, more demons show up.
Oh, big surprise.
It's almost like those demons
And
are
they
fucking
just-
everywhere for some reason.
And they put the portal opens up and he's halfway in it already.
Mohiro does not have the best luck.
No, he does not. And he has zero self-preservation instinct.
Oh my god. He's just
He's
like,
just sitting there.
someone to save me.
But so Saki's mom comes to the rescue. We finally get to see the mother-daughter magical girl fight.
Yes.
In all of its ridiculousness.
And I love that it's, oh, I'm just a passing through magical woman.
Even though they are
No,
very clearly
wait,
related.
Is this the one where all the fans are like yelling, "No, you're too old"?
I
Thought I saw something like
that's from a further on episode.
Yeah.
that. Oh,
Yeah, this one is like,
that's the
yeah,
next
where
one.
they're just like a little bit more confused than anything else. And I do love that the mom was the one that referenced Kamen Rider. The I'm just a passing through blah blah blah.
Yep.
Um
Even if it was a reference to decade.
Oh man, it's just like, and then they do their whole smear, and then at the end of the episode they're kind of like, okay, they keep trying to get him.
Something is up.
the characters finally start thinking.
Yes, and they're like, okay, who have you had contact with? Well, I had contact with and someone seems to be absent during this pivotal moment.
Every single time. Gee, I wonder who it could be. Fucking Hyoi. And yeah, our magical girls start to put two and two together that, hey, maybe Hyoi is the bad guy.
Maybe he's the Demon King.
And so that gets us into the next episode, Another and Another, where
Which starts out with a little bit of stalking.
yeah, just
Right?
some casual stalking before we get to the episode titled Stalking. But
Yes.
this one focuses a little more on Prisma, the other idol duo, and, surprise, the other magical girl duo. Because they make a contract with an even skeesier looking Yakuza guy. And I have mixed feelings about this episode. Because one, it's hilarious, more magical girls. in buff guy form for some reason.
Yes.
Because
But-
it's a more practical form.
I get the joke, but for the second time, we get the one member of the duo is in love with some guy. Spoiler alert: it's Ore.
Yeah.
But
Man, she was staring hard
her
at him.
partner is, of course, in love with her. And it's like, you know, we kind of did this already. It felt a little flat this time because it's like, well, this is just a rerun at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they really don't have. They don't add to the story very much.
Yeah, they don't really do a whole lot. Like, there is the gag. Is the gag in this episode, or is that in Stalking?
I think it comes in at the end of this one.
Either in the end of this one or sometime in Stalking, where because the one doesn't have a lot of love power, her magical girl form ages prematurely.
Yes.
And then for some reason turns brown.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they spent too long in a tanning bed or something. But yeah, like they don't really. I was hoping for more interaction between the groups, and for them to actually like do more.
But they were just kind of there.
Yeah. I mean, it was an episode that didn't push the main plot along. I mean, it's a filler episode. It was just like a side story.
Yeah, like this one would be one like the Prisma arc I could see happening as a second season of this rather, and you get to see the interactions between the different groups and the different idol groups in their civilian forms. Like that would have been more interesting than them getting just a throwaway episode basically.
Yeah.
Of course, we do get the freaking ridiculous 4 magical girl combo attack.
Yes. I forgot about that one in this one.
Yeah, because it's been a hot minute since I actually watched this episode.
Yeah, that was 4 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
It's been a few. But yeah, then we go into the next episode, Stalking.
Oh, before Stalking, it's like, haven't you realized all the thirsty looks I've been giving you?
Yeah, that was slightly okay because in the case of Saki and I can't remember her name.
Sakuyo?
Sakuyo. That's why I can't remember because they're so freaking similar. Sock and Sock. Yeah, unlike the fact where Saki was completely blindsided because this girl's been her best friend forever. The blonde member of Prisma is just apparently exceptionally dense and doesn't notice her partner just ogling her at every turn.
She's exceptionally dense, and also I'm pretty sure the implication here is that Prisma is one of those idol groups that was actually put together by the entertainment agency after these girls were already signed on. So basically, each one of them individually signed to be idols, and then the executives were like, hey, you and you're a group now. You get groups like that, like, frickin'... Oh, I can't remember the name of it right now, but Baby Metal, I think, was put together by the entertainment agency, as was Bandmade. I think, don't quote me 100% on that, but I vaguely remember.
I know Baby Metal was put together, yes.
Bandmade, I'm not sure about, but I know Baby Metal was. But I mean, it works, so. But
and, I kind of like how in this episode, for them to be stalking, they just need to do this.
But yeah, so basically.
I'm a bush. I'm a bush.
So basically, they're put together by the agency, and Orange Hair doesn't really care about her partner outside of a professional context. They're just acquaintances and coworkers to her.
Whereas Silver Hair is just like, this is something I want. Thank you.
But yeah, their whole idea of hiding is to just put a stick in front of their face.
Or, wear a beagle puss. Yeah.
I'm a screwdriver.
Our protagonist engaging in some casual stalking as they follow Mohiro and Hyoe-san throughout the entire day. And Hyoe-san at the end is just like, yeah, I knew you were following me the entire time. You're terrible at this.
I'm pretty sure he led them past the Love Hotel on purpose because he
Just
knew
to
they
fuck
were
with them.
following.
Just to fuck
But
with,
yeah,
just like
Then we get the fucking plot twist none of us saw coming.
Yeah.
we cut to, instead of continuing the story in the park with Ore and with Saki and Sakio, we go to the manager and we get his backstory for some
And he
reason.
lampshades the fuck out of it too. Where he's like, "Oh, main plot? We don't need that."
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
and
comes
it's like
home
just
from
him
work.
walking. Yeah, and he's an otaku. He is an otaku
Through and through.
all the way through for magical girls.
He comes home from a long day at work at the office. Oh, they must be fighting again. Walks into his apartment, and it's full of demons. The manager
Which he presents.
has been the demon
Yeah.
boss the whole time.
Yes. The entire time. And it shows that he's not like when he sees another startup idol group on the side of the sidewalk, he's like, okay, I'll buy one of your CDs.
Yeah, like he's so sweet about it.
And you think, okay, it's just they're just gonna give us a little short story about the manager. No, it's just like, where the hell did that come from? Literally.
Yeah, it turns out he was quite literally their boss, as in a department head, suit and tie level boss, who volunteered to come to Earth himself to take control of the invasion efforts, specifically so he could go see magical girls.
Yes. And then he fast forwards the invasion because the other world won't pay for his expenses anymore.
Yeah, so he has to get a real job.
Yes.
Or not a real job, but like a real Earth job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he winds up working for an idol company. He becomes a manager. He recruits these girls. And apparently, he just picks Mohiro by chance. But because of that, actually, we skipped an important bit. He actually saw Saki's mom as a magical girl and
Yes.
was mortified because she was old.
Yes. And he was
Yes.
confused as fuck. And also, I'm pretty sure he picked Mohiro on purpose because he overheard them talking about magical girls. Like when Kokoro was trying to get Saki to transform the first time. And then he went and asked Sakuyo, "Hey, where's your brother?"
Oh, yeah, that's right. So, yeah, Manager has been the demon boss the entire time because he wanted to see real-life magical girls because he's a fucking otaku.
Yes.
And
then we get another
Yeah.
twist
By the
in
way,
this episode.
yeah, Hyoe's not the bad guy. He's the prince of the fairies.
yep, we actually get Saki growing some brain cells and asking, "Well, what about you? Are you human?"
No, actually, I'm not.
Yeah, and he actually comes out and is like, look at him. He sings and just, is he even human? And like you said, it gets turned on him, and is just like, nope, just call your fairy.
Wait, what? Trust me.
And of course, Kokoro shows up and proceeds to flip his shit. Get your face down on the ground this instant.
Yes. Oh man, and it's just like, oh.
Yeah, so we get a freaking plot twist on the most nonsensical series we've been watching this season. The one we didn't want to take seriously, that we were watching just to laugh hysterically because it's so fucking batshit crazy. And they throw a
And then
legitimately surprising plot twist in.
I really am glad they went that direction, though. I'm glad that they didn't make it predictable. And yeah, that was Stalking.
And so we go into the final battle.
Where
Which isn't so final.
Don't worry, there's one more episode left.
where they actually flip another trope on its head, because typically in the final battle episodes the animation budget is
Gets
multiplied.
thrown out the window.
Yes, they just go absolutely nuts doing like everything they can to pull out all the stops, make the prettiest animation they've ever made in their lives. And then Magical Girl Ori comes along and purposely makes the animation bad, and even puts a subtitled notice explaining that they're making it bad on purpose.
You magnificent bastards. And yeah, we get Manager dragging everybody into the demon world because he wants to make sure that Magical Girl Ore does not fade into the shadows. That she becomes a legend to live on for the ages, because that's how a magical girl should be. And he stages the entire thing to make this huge production of it, just to drill it into people's hearts, because he loves Magical Girl so much.
And he doesn't even want to take over the world. He wants to be beaten. So
he's planning on taking the fall.
Yeah, he wants them to win.
oh my god, it's just like, okay, that's good. Let's wrap it up there. Okay, that's a good take. Like all the demons pop out, and they just take all the set stuff off. Oh, and I think someone has an issue with photography.
Photo voyeurism, you mean? With
Yes.
Sakuyo's collection of Saki photos.
Thousands of photos.
Yeah, as she squares off 1 on 1,000 against the demons.
And she uses the pictures to trigger her power because the demons step on the pictures.
Yes. And then she has the little Saki doll.
So they're
Yes.
fighting side by side. Which
And then
that
Saki
is
has
equal
the other
parts
version.
creepy and really sweet. This show.
Oh, and we thought this was just going to be I don't want to call it throwaway anime, but we thought this was just going to be like,
Our break anime. There's something that we can just
yeah,
sit back
a break.
and watch and
But
be
each
entertained.
one of these,
This was supposed
Yeah.
to be our junk food. We had the meat and potatoes of Darling in the FRANXX and My Hero. We had the dessert that is Shokugeki. And then this was supposed to be the snack food. This was the vending machine bag of chips.
this is the
And then the vending machine grabs you by
late
the ankles
night-
and shakes you for your change.
Oh my god. But I mean, like you said earlier, we get bored if there's not something more to it.
Yeah, we need something, just a little bit to dig our teeth into, or just like, this is dumb. I don't want to watch this.
Like how to keep your mum, or how is it how to
How to
keep,
keep
a
a
mummy?
mummy.
Yeah, that one was sugary as hell, but it had little conflicts here and there, and then the last 3 episodes were just like, yeah, and it works.
Let me just
And I
gut
hope they
punch
get
you
a
in the
second
fucking
season of that.
feels.
Yeah.
Ah, man. But yeah,
Okay.
Ore has been a really fucking wild trip.
And I'm really glad that we watched it.
Yeah, and I was kind of reluctant at first because I'm like, oh, okay, it's these girls that turn into masculine men, magical girls,
That's
right? Yeah,
a thing.
yeah, and I'm like, oh, it's Japan.
Which is funny because this is actually Korean.
Yeah, if you look at the
Really?
credits, like next time you're watching the show, actually look at the names in the credits. Those are all Korean names.
Oh. The only way I can tell the difference between Korean and Japanese is that there's a lot of O's in Korean. There's a lot of circles.
A lot of circles, yeah. But yeah, it's been a real wild ride with this show.
Oh my god! And we thought last season was rough on us.
Especially because we've had so many intense shows going together. Like, we knew that this was going to be the season of shonen bullshit with Shokugeki, My Hero, and Darling all together. And then all of a sudden you throw this super fucking intense twist in Ore, which was supposed to be, yeah, just our sit back and relax, be entertained show. And it still is, but that twist definitely made us sit up on the couch a little bit more.
Is it Saturday yet? Oh no. Oh, the final episode's already
Yeah,
out for
the
order.
final
That's right. If
watched
you
it
have
already.
Crunchyroll or Verve, go watch it now because I'm gonna probably watch it right after we finish.
So the Slack's gonna light up in about, 45 minutes. But man, it's been a week, guys. And in 2 weeks when we see you beautiful people again, it's gonna be another week because we're gonna have even more crazy shit, and we won't have to worry about staying caught up on Ori because there's only gonna be one episode of it. Which means we'll
Yeah.
have that much more time to talk about the really ridiculous shit.
And what's great is that we get CJ back.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, so it's going to be hello and fuck all you manga readers.
Are we getting CJ back? I thought he was taking all of June off.
well, our next show is on the 2nd of
As we both pull
July.
up the Oh yeah, because
Um,
next week's the 25th. Week after that is the 2nd.
Though, unless we want to
we-
take that week off because of the
The holiday.
break,
Well,
but
let's
the
discuss
holiday,
that
but-
off air. Do we want to cut this part of the episode out?
Sure. I can do it in video editing. That's no problem. All right, Josh.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. Usual plug we've been doing. We are going to be at Metrocon in Tampa, Florida, July 19th to 22nd with 2 panels. The Anime Otaku Show presents Studio Trigger, Subversion's Inspection and Looking Beneath the Surface in Anime Track B Panel Room 25 on Saturday, July 21st, 10 a.m. to 10:50 a.m. And then right after that, so you get back-to-back us. I know you're also happy, I can tell. We have the Anime Otaku Show 2017 and early 2018 Anime in Review, also in Anime Track B Panel Room 25 from 11 a.m. to 11:50 a.m. What's that? 2 hours of us not on a Monday? I know, we're too good to you. You can contact with us at show@geek-io.net and at /geekio show on every form of social media imaginable, including ones that don't even exist. And if you want to give us a call, you can do that on the Geek Hotline, 727-489-4335. That's 727-489-GEEK. And for myself, for Carrie and Raul, for Sleepy Boy Justin, and of course for our benevolent boat leaders who are currently far and away, thank you, good night, and oyasumi nasai.
Good night.
Hi, my name is Water Buffalo, and I hope you've enjoyed this Geeko Media Network production. Copyright 2018, you see how that works?
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.